Okay, so in this week's installment of what I've been playing, I've only been playing two things this week. First of all, in one sitting, I played through this FMV game on PlayStation 4 called The Complex. It was actually a pretty cool game. It was kind of this futuristic sci-fi type game. Basically, there's you're a scientist and you have another scientist you're working with, and there's been a biological weapon that was released or being used in London, and so it's up to you two to basically figure out how to get the perpetrator locked down and to reverse engineer the effects and that kind of thing. And there were some politics that played into part, and there were a few twists and turns. I thought it was kind of interesting how there's one scene in the game to where there's a box of poison, and there's like 5 people in this lab that you can choose to pick up, unbeknownst to you at the time, this box of poison. And then one person gets poisoned in the lab and sets off this chain reaction of events. Now, I didn't replay that scene, but it kind of made me wonder if I were to choose a different person to pick up the box, how that scene would have changed out. Now, it said at the end, once I rolled credits, in the trophies, I was looking at the trophies, and it says that there's 9 different endings on the game. So I'm like, I wonder if there's a different ending based on who opened the poison, meaning who would end up surviving, if there was a way to have different people survive the scenario. And then at the end, there's different endings that play out depending on who is along with you at the end. So I'm not really sure about that, but I did think it was kind of interesting that there were 9 different endings, and I'm kind of curious of how they all kind of play out. But overall, it wasn't that too deep of a game as far as the gameplay goes, because it's a Wales interactive game. And mostly kind of choose your own adventure type things. There will be, 10 minutes of footage, and then there's 2 choices on the screen. You make a choice, and then 10 or 15 more minutes of footage, 2 more choices. So along with most of the other Wales interactive games, this one's pretty sparse on gameplay, very narrative driven. There's a few choices here and there you can choose to basically kind of direct the action, if you will. I picked out a stack of all the Wales interactive games I still haven't played, so I kind of put them on the coffee table. So as the weeks or months go by, I'll probably grab one of them, throw them in, because you can play through the whole thing in like 90 minutes and it's done. So it'll be interesting to kind of attack and go through this stack of games to kind of see what different genres and experiences that they have to offer. And the only other game in the mix I've been playing is Gotham Knights. Now, I picked this up from Best Buy on one of their deals that they do, and it was like $10 for the Xbox Series X version. So I was pretty excited to come home and check it out. But I didn't really get around to it. I think I picked it up probably 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. I just hadn't got around to it. So I was really excited to finally be able to sit down and jump into it. I figured after we got done with Spider-Man that I should get into a DC superhero game to kind of see how it differentiates. Now, the thing is, with Gotham Knights, there's 4 different heroes that you can play as, and you can choose which hero you want to play depending on your mood and whatever. So I mean, at any point in the game, you can change out the heroes. So you have Batgirl, you have Robin, you have Nightwing, and you have Red Hood. Since this is basically kind of like an RPG light in how you get stats and you can level up your character and get points for abilities and that kind of thing, I figured it'd probably be best to just pick one character and stick with it. So I just been maining Batgirl for this whole thing, and so I've been basically dumping all my points and all my investments in just her loadout. So I've actually got a pretty wicked loadout at this point. As of right now, I've already gone through all the supervillain side quests, so I've done all the Harley Quinn, I've done all the Clayface, I've done all the Mr. Freeze. And right now, currently feel like I'm getting near the end of the main quest. I was really super stoked that one of the henchmen was Mr. Freeze, because he is my all-time favorite supervillain. And so it's really cool to be able to get more story from him, and it was also really cool to face off against him as well. So his story arc was really cool, was really inventive, and So I was really excited to be able to see where the story goes and that kind of thing. But I was equally excited to do the Harley Quinn quest as well. And it was really funny because like that was the wife. She was kind of I guess disappointed that I wasn't going through all the characters. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll choose Nightwing for this one. So I had Nightwing, and I was going through one of the quests, and then basically it dumps me into a boss battle, and I'm like, I haven't invested anything in this guy. So basically his weapon, his loadout, his stats, his abilities, everything was just like level 1. I hadn't done anything. I was just getting completely annihilated in this boss battle. And so I immediately just closed out of it, went back to the main hub, changed out the background, went back and took care of business. But so that is a weakness of this game, is the fact that if you want to rotate your characters, you're gonna have to grind a lot of points up, because to distribute points and stats and upgrade weapons and upgrade gear and do all the upgrades, you'll have to be grinding a whole lot to get that much points to allocate between all of them. So you're better off, once you start the game, to just look at all 4 characters and make a note of who you want to main at the very start and just dump all your stats into that one character. Now, as far as the gameplay loop itself, I mean, it's pretty similar to Spider-Man, the other games. You know, it's a brawler, essentially. It's a beat 'em up. The only thing was I felt like the quest line, the quest marker, whatever you want to call it, the quest framework was a little bit convoluted, because you go to the back computer and you would choose a case, and then once you choose the case, then you would go to challenges, and then choose case under challenges, and it would give you more detailed information on what you're supposed to do. So I'm like, why wouldn't you just put all this information in the original case file itself under the case category, instead of making me choose a case, choose challenges, choose a case in the challenges, to get to information, to go back to the case, to cross-reference the information from the challenge to the case. It was a little bit convoluted. So if I had my druthers, I would have kind of condensed all that to just one tab to make it less where you're flipping back and forth. I mean, there were some times where I was taking photographs with my phone of the map on the challenge screen, so I could sync that up to the map on the case screen, so I could sync that up to the actual in-game map. So it would have been nice to condense all that to just one tab. And as far as the map, I felt like the map was pretty good sized map. Once you start the game, you start off with a bat cycle, and you can go essentially anywhere on the map with the bat cycle. The map looks pretty big on the screen, but you can cover a lot of distance in that bat cycle if you're, just pedal to the metal. And then once you meet Lucius Fox, you can unlock fast travel points, where you can just immediately fast travel to different points on the map based on that, to get you even closer to where you're going. So you can fast travel to a point and then use the motorcycle to get to the actual quest marker that you're going to. A lot of the minor quest tasks was interrogation. So you would have to basically just patrol the streets to try to find crimes in action, so you can go and beat guys up and then interrogate them on the scene. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because Spider-Man didn't really have that much as far as crime work goes. It was just like, oh, there's a robbery, I'm gonna go over there and beat all these guys up. But this, it was like, oh, I need to get information for another quest, so I'm going to patrol and look for robberies so I can beat guys up, so I can interrogate them to get information to lead to, where is Clayface's hideout, or where is Mr. Freeze going to do his next heist, or something like that. So I did think it was kind of cool that there was more depth to why am I going crime fighting, because in Spider-Man there wasn't any why. You're just essentially doing it for skill points. That was it. But with that being said, overall, I think Gotham Knights is a pretty decent game. Granted, I didn't play it when it initially launched. I know that it initially launched a little lackluster at 30 frames and that kind of thing. I'm playing at 60 frames performance mode. So from my vantage point, it's a really cool game. The voice acting is pretty decent. The soundtrack is pretty decent. The animations are decent. So far, I don't have any real complaints for as far as the gameplay loop, as far as the production, as far as the quality. Everything seems pretty standard as far as that goes. So if you hadn't had a chance to check out Gotham Knights yet, I would recommend it. I'm having a enjoyable time with it. I've almost got it wrapped up. As I said, I feel like I'm probably 1 or 2 quests from rolling credits. So I should probably be able to wrap it up within the next couple of days, and then I guess we can move on to the next thing. I'm not sure what the next thing is gonna be, just like last week. I might go and pick up Lords of the Fallen, possibly, or I might go pick up Dead Space or Resident Evil 4. There's a few things that came out last year that I didn't pick up that I'm kind of wanting to pick up, so that may be where we go next. I guess we'll see. But at any rate, I guess that's all for now, so thanks for watching, and peace out.